Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to today's class. Today we will be discussing, learning, and hearing from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 7, verse 72, and the chapter is entitled Lord Chaitanya and Five Features. We're very happy to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and Srila Prabhupada.
Haribo.
And it is all yours, Maharaj.
Jai. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrindam Mukatum Tamara Nahika Vedata Dikara Krishna Mantra Japa Sada A Mantra Sara. You are a fool, he said. You are not qualified to study Vedanta philosophy, and therefore you must always chant the holy name of Krishna. This is the essence of all mantras or Vedic hymns. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami comments in this connection, one can become perfectly successful in the mission of life if he acts according to the words he hears from the mouth of his spiritual master. We'll read that again. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj comments in this, one becomes perfectly successful in the mission of life if he acts exactly according to the words he hears from the mouth of his spiritual master. The acceptance of the words of the spiritual master is called Srauta Vakya, which indicates that the disciple must carry out the spiritual master's instructions without deviation. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks in this connection that the disciple must accept the words of the spiritual master as his life and soul. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here confirms this by saying that since his spiritual master ordered him only to chant the holy name of Krishna, he always chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra according to this direction. Krishna mantra japa sada, a mantra sara. Krishna is the origin of everything. Therefore, when a person is fully Krishna conscious, it is understood that his relationship with Krishna has been fully confirmed. Lacking Krishna conscious, one is only partially related to Krishna and therefore not in his constitutional position. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the spiritual master of the entire universe, he nevertheless took the position of a disciple in order to teach by example how a devotee should strictly follow the orders of the spiritual master in executing the duty of always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. One who is very much attracted to the study of Vedanta philosophy must take lessons from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this age, no one is actually competent to study Vedanta, and therefore it is better that one chant the holy name of the Lord, which is the essence of all Vedic knowledge, a mantrasara, as Krishna himself confirms in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedaischa Savara Aham Eva Vedyo, Vedanta Krit Eva Vedavit, Eva Chaham. Sri Krishna says, by all the Vedas I am to be known, I am the compiler of Vedanta, I am the knower of the Vedas. Only fools give up the service of the spiritual master and think themselves advanced in spiritual knowledge. In order to check such fools, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself presented the perfect example of how to be a disciple. Spiritual master knows very well how to engage each disciple in a particular duty, but if a disciple thinks himself more advanced than his spiritual master, gives up the orders and acts independently, he checks his own spiritual progress. Every disciple must consider himself completely unaware of the science of Krishna and must always be ready to carry out the order of the spiritual master to become competent in Krishna consciousness. A disciple should always remain a fool before his spiritual master. Therefore, sometimes pseudo spiritualists accept the spiritual master who's not even fit to become a disciple because they want to keep him under their control. This is useless for spiritual realization. One who imperfectly knows Krishna consciousness cannot know Vedanta philosophy. A showy display only, I can't see one word there, shoot it down a little bit. A showy display of Vedanta study without Krishna consciousness is a feature of the external energy Maya. And as a result, as one is attracted by the iniquities of the ever-changing material energy, he deviates from devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. An actual follower of Vedanta philosophy is a devotee of Lord Vishnu, who is the greatest of the great and the maintainer of the universe. Unless one surpasses the field of activities in service to the limited, one cannot reach the unlimited. Knowledge of the unlimited is actually Brahmagyan, Brahmagyan, or knowledge of the Supreme. Those who are addicted to fruitive activities and speculative knowledge cannot understand the value of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which is always completely pure, eternally liberating, and full of spiritual bliss. One who has taken shelter of the holy name of the Lord, which is identical to the Lord, does not have to study Vedanta philosophy, for he has already completed all such study. One who is unfit to chant the holy name of Krishna, but thinks that the holy name is different from Krishna, and thus takes shelter of Vedanta study in order to understand, must be considered a number one fool, as confirmed by Sri Chaitanya by his personal behavior. And philosophical speculators who want to make Vedanta philosophy an academic career are also considered to be within the material energy. A person who always chants the holy name of the Lord, however, is beyond the ocean of ignitions. And thus, even a person born in a low family who engages in chanting the holy name of the Lord is considered to be beyond Vedanta study. In this connection, this Bhagavatam verse 333.7 states the whole Bhattasva Pachis Bodhigariyan Yajiva Guru Vartanama Tubhyam Te Pasta Paste Juva Sashana Aryam Brahmachur Nama Grinante Yete. If a person born in a family of dog eaters takes to the chanting of the holy name of Krishna, it is understood that his previous life he must execute all kinds of austerities and penances and perform the Vedic yagas. Another quotation states, Rig Vedota Yajurveda, Sama Veda Pyatharvada, Aditas Tena Yenotam, Hare It Aksara Doyam. A person who chants the two syllables Hari has already studied the four Vedas, Sama, Rik, Yajur, and Atharva. Taking advantage of these three verses, there are some Sahajyas who, taking everything very cheaply, consider themselves elevated Vaishnavas, but do not care even to touch the Vedanta Sutra or Vedanta philosophy. A real Vaishnava should, however, study Vedanta philosophy, but after studying Vedanta, one does not adopt the chanting of the holy name, he is no better than a Mayavadi. Therefore, one should not be a Mayavadi, yet one should be aware of the subject matter of Vedanta philosophy. Indeed, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his knowledge of Vedanta in his discourses with Prakasananda Saraswati. This is to be understood, that a Vaishnava should be completely conversant with Vedanta philosophy. Yes, he should not think that studying Vedanta is all in all and therefore be unattached to chanting of the holy name. The devotee must know the importance of simultaneously understanding Vedanta philosophy and chanting the holy name. If by studying Vedanta one becomes an impersonalist, he has not been able to understand Vedanta. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Veda 15:50, as the end of knowledge. The ultimate end of knowledge is knowledge of Krishna, who is identical with his holy name. Cheap Vaishnavas, Sahajis, do not care to study the Vedanta philosophy, as commented upon the four acharyas. In the Gaur Sampradaya, there is a Vedanta commentary called Govinda Bhasya. The Sahajis consider such commentaries to be untouchable philosophical speculations, and they consider the Acharya to be mixed devotees, thus they clear their way to hell. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gana Jana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru Vaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bistam Ya Papitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swam Padanti Kama Ma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvase Sasuni Gori Vashyatya De Satarine. I Vanchakam Teru Bischa Pipa Sindhu Pahebata Titanam Avane Byo Vaishnave Byo Maha Vaisi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Harigor Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah. So the goal of life is to get free from the entanglement of the material energy, which relegates one to perform activities that are both temporary and ultimately lead to suffering. In other words, the conditioned soul in the material world is trying to find happiness in a place where that happiness does not exist. And that is called material life. There's an energy in the material energy which governs the activities of the three modes of material nature called Maya. Maya is Krishna's energy to bewilder the conditioned souls to think that by engaging in activities of material life, one can find success and happiness in life. But by example and by observation, we can see that people simply struggle to find happiness. And even what they consider to be happiness is another form of struggle because it leads to more and more struggle to achieve happiness. So the idea of happiness in the material world is a concept, but it's not a reality. In other words, it's a false sense of reality. And therefore, the conditioned soul, on different levels of material activity, tries to find happiness. Under the influence of the modes of material nature, which govern all activities in the material world, people connect with one or many of the modes of material energy at different times. Those connected with the lower mode, which is called ignorance, see happiness as, as enjoying in a very sinful and degraded way, such as illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, meat eating, um, various types of activities that have no relevancy to anything meaningful in life. In other words, they don't waste time because they don't care about time. They simply go about their material activities without any conception of the time factor. And they simply are living more like an animal existence, those in the mode of ignorance. They are involved in activities that cause them frustration, and then the result is they sleep a lot, they complain a lot, they they find happiness in something like something sinful, such as intoxication in different forms. That is the mode of ignorance. They're always trying to uh, get something through material sense gratification, low forms of material sense gratification. They're not so much interested in working hard because they think working hard, they can get what they want without working hard. by engaging in the lower forms of material activities, illicit sex, intoxication, like that. Those in the mode of passion, or who are influenced by the mode of passion, see the world as an opportunity to enjoy in different ways. And they direct their consciousness towards that in order to find some satisfaction in getting money, getting sense gratification in different forms. Sometimes that sense gratification is considered to be having material things to enjoy, such as the amenities that are produced by society. They surround themselves with these things and they want to get more, they want to get different ones. They find life as being an active principle of trying to use every minute to and find happiness in some kind of material activity. And they constantly struggle because also the influence of the mode of passion is that it creates this false sense of happiness through the activities of material energy, and then they struggle hard to achieve it. Even if they achieve something which they feel satisfied with, the time factor is always working in the material energy to take everything away. So they're never happy. They work hard. They may even by external appearance, they may even be somewhat nice people, but still, they use their niceties in order to apply them to gain material sense gratification. In other words, they're what they call the modern moralists. The goodness, they develop people who are into the mode of goodness, which is, of course, very rare in this particular age of Kali. They like higher forms of sense gratification. They like to read books and gain knowledge. They like to do charity for people who are in need. They like to they like to develop whatever sense gratification projects they have to finer and finer sediments. They try to eat the best of all foods. They are very polite and very well mannered towards others. And they also exhibit a sense of universality towards other living beings. You might say they're nice people. They're the epitome of the material success. Or you might say they see material life as just developing qualities that allow you to enjoy in a more elevated form, such as music, poetry, art, drama, literature, like that. And they form clubs around that too. They're in the mode of, they're at least they're elements of the mode of goodness. They find some happiness in doing good work for others, but still they struggle to keep what they have and to proliferate what they have also. So these three modes are compared to three different levels of uh, activities using the analogy of wood. Wood is like the mode of ignorance. There's no fire. The fire is within the mood, within the wood, but cannot be brought out. Therefore, the fire is not available. Those in a mode of passion are more like the smoke. Trying to start a fire, they get a little bit of the element of fire, but still they can't do anything with the fire. But it indicates that fire is present through smoke. Those in the mode of goodness, they actually bring out the fire. But those who go above the mode of goodness, which is called Suddha Sattva, which is devotional service, they use the fire to cook and to heat. So using this analogy, we see how the material modes of nature relegate a certain result accordingly. One cannot do anything with fire if you simply have wood. One can do very little with fire if you simply have smoke, hardly anything. If you have fire, but you don't use it, well, what is the benefit? But those who understand the benefit of fire use it to cook, to heat, and to use what fire is meant to be used for. So the purpose of life is to transcend these three modes of material nature and come to the platform of what we say Sudasattva, or pure goodness. And that here begins with that first statement here. In order to achieve that, one has to follow very carefully the guidance of Krishna, who manifests himself in the form of his representative, the spiritual master. So here's the way to get out of that struggle of material energy through the words of the spiritual master. And by taking those words of the spiritual master, as it says here, as their foremost focus in life, the word here is used as life and soul. In other words, my life and my very existence in terms of success, achieving success in life, depends on me following very strictly the instructions of my spiritual master. And by the instructions of the spiritual master, one connects with Krishna in the activities that is given to us by the spiritual master, which is known as service to the Lord. Although the spiritual master gives it, we are serving Krishna by serving his representative in the material world. And therefore, as we do that, we move closer and closer to Krishna, because each time we engage in devotional service, we're increasing that connection with Krishna through this element of service. And it's all connected by what is called the mercy manifestation of Krishna, who is trying to elevate the conditioned souls to the process of coming back to him in devotion through the mercy, his mercy in the form of the spiritual master. One who deviates or doesn't take the instructions of the spiritual master as important, or what we say optional, can never really move outside of the three modes of material nature. They may get stuck in the mode of goodness, but can't go beyond any farther like that until they come to accepting those instructions as the way for success in life. Instructions of the spiritual master is the guiding point by which the devotee sees how they can connect with Krishna through these instructions. Therefore, the instructions become a meditation by the sincere devotee who tries to remember at every moment how best I can serve, given the guidance and the instructions I receive from my representative spiritual master. And then, of course, here it says that there are two principles. There is knowledge and there is what we say, the process. Knowledge is contained within the process. And when one follows the spiritual master, one gains knowledge. But the manifestation of that knowledge comes in the form of activity. And here it explains that the highest form of that activity is to glorify the Lord by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So the essence of the spiritual master's instructions is to help us come in contact with the Lord through the process of devotional service, which is different levels of devotional service, or different elements of devotional service, which culminates in chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. To read the books is important, to know the books is important, as it says here. But those who study Vedanta without chanting the holy name are considered to be a study of the Vedanta more important or than chanting the holy name, do not understand the purpose of Vedanta. As Krishna says, and the Bhagavad has mentioned here in this verse, the purpose of the knowledge of Vedanta is to know me. I am the compiler of the Vedanta, I am the knower of Vedanta, and the goal of Vedanta is to know him. Well, the spiritual master teaches us the essence of the knowledge of Vedanta in the form of devotional activities, which culminates in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This is what Lord Chaitanya is saying here. Yeah, what is the use of studying Vedanta if it doesn't connect me with, this, with the goal of life. So, but he's putting himself in a very, what is it called, Nija Bhakta, a very low form of bhakti that I can't understand Vedanta. Of course, he is God himself. He's the author of Vedanta, but he's speaking in a humble way just to show that without chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which is the Yuga Dharma, as in every age, there's a means for self-realization. And the Shastras direct us towards that activity as the ultimate principle of success. Therefore, in every age, you can study Vedanta or you can study the Shastras, but then you have to apply the Shastras in practical activity. And the essence of that practical activity, which is considered to be the Yuga Dharma, which is authorized by the Lord in every age accordingly, is in this age, Kali Yuga, is Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, in a roundabout way, Lord Chaitanya is less roundabout way, but in a roundabout way, he's saying, Vedanta is very nice, but I can't understand it. But therefore, because I'm not qualified to understand Vedanta, my spiritual master has given me something else, chant the holy names. But then again, as Lord Chaitanya will gradually teach these Mayavadi philosophers that the essence of Vedanta is to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead through serving the Supreme Lord. And that comes in, as it called, is a mantra sara. Sara means essence. So Krishna mantra japa sara a mantra sara. That means the Maha Mantra must be chanted in this age if in order for one to achieve the goal of life, which is the devotion, pure devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mhm. Although the Shastras illustrate, recommend, and emphasize different forms of worship, still, such as hearing about Krishna, remembering Krishna, offering prayers to Krishna, worshiping in the temple, the deity of Krishna, um, going to holy places, serving the Lord in different ways, becoming a friend of the Lord, surrendering everything without the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. In this age, each of these other processes cannot reach fruition or perfection. Sometimes devotees think, well, there's 9 processes and they're all equal, so I can choose which one and emphasize that. And that, in principle, that is correct. But then again, we follow the Acharya. Therefore, it says here, the words of the spiritual master. So what is the words of the spiritual master? The supreme spiritual master in this age is Lord Chaitanya. And those who take up the role of spiritual master are following Lord Chaitanya's instructions as they give those instructions as guidance for those who come to them for devotional practice. Therefore, the essence of that is to chant Hare Krishna. Therefore, even if one adopts one of the other 8 processes of bhakti, but does not chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, they cannot get the results of pure devotional service. They must include that in this age. And it's foremost, but it's at the same time supportive of everything else. So therefore, as Srila Prabhupada was asked, what's your most important instruction to your disciples? He said, to every day chant 16 rounds on beads without fail. So we get that. We can't create our own ideas of how to make advancement in spiritual life. Everything is there given to us by the spiritual master. And if we follow that, it becomes easy and natural. And then we can work in any situation very nicely and always feel satisfied and happy in doing whatever service we're doing because the holy name is accompanying us in all of our activities. Okay, so we can stop there.
Thank you, Marge, for this wonderful class. As you were speaking and reading this purport, I was really thinking how powerful it is. It's like the crust of our Krishna consciousness. It's such a powerful purport. Would like to ask devotees if you have any questions, any comments, please do raise your hand. And if you can, please turn on your videos. This is a powerful, yes, Sridevi, you can kick off with your questions. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Anasuya. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, this particular instruction which you said, Srila Prabhupada gave us, this most important of the spiritual master's instructions to chant 16 rounds on the beads without fail. This is sometimes not spoken of so emphatically as you have spoken, because I've heard some senior devotees who don't chant, they say, chanting for 2 hours is sufficient. It doesn't matter whether you read 16 or not, as long as you chant 2 hours. And I said, I've never heard of that. Another lady who's also initiated, she told me Krishna is not a numbers person. It's not important how much I chant, but how sincerely I chant. So whether I chant 4, I chant 8, because I'm chanting very sincerely, that's what is more important. You can chant 16 rounds inattentively. What's the use of that? So these kind of things are going around, Guru Maharaj. So what you have told us that 16 rounds is the spiritual master's order, that we must chant this. We need to hear this more and we need to speak this more also. So thank you so much for telling us about this. My obeisances.
Hare Krishna. Those who give the different instructions other than what the spiritual master says are an illusion because they think they understand the process better than the spiritual master. And therefore, due to their whatever lethargy or laziness or their lack of faith in the spiritual master, they try to adjust things to suit their own way of practicing. Yeah, we must follow not only follow the the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but we must also follow the four regulative principles, which protect us against Maya. If we don't follow them, and we're chanting, we're not going to get the benefit of the chanting either. Because the chanting is dependent on being fixed in devotional activities and free from these elements of sinful activities, the four regulative principles. And so if we think we can only chant 4 rounds a day in this age of Kali where Maya is so strong, and we can actually become self-realized in this, and then we're in a gross illusion. Therefore, the acharyas actually explain that chanting should be continuous, not only 16 rounds, but it should be done satatam, always, constantly chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And a numerical value is to establish yourself in a fixed form of devotional practice where you make a commitment to both yourself, to the spiritual master, and to Krishna. And by following that commitment, you can gradually move forward in increasing the quality and quantity of your devotional service. Otherwise, Maya will always be there to pull you in the other direction by various types of allurements, and also teaching us misconceptions that come in the way of conceptions of how we should practice devotional service. Those who are insincere create their own program. They're not sincere. Now, if a person says, well, I just came to Krishna consciousness, this is all I can do. Okay. Yeah, you can do whatever you can do, but you have to understand that eventually you have to come to the goal of 16 rounds. you should see I'm not up to the mark, but still I know what is the goal, and I'm gonna gradually try to come to that stage. I might not be able to do it in my present situation. That's honesty anyway, and that person will gradually make progress. But those who readjust the instructions to say all I have to do is 4 rounds or 10 rounds, that's all I need to do. Because if I chant 16, I don't chant so sincere, but if I chant 4, I'll be really sincere. Krishna doesn't care about your definition of sincerity. You think you can figure out the mind of Krishna by making your own definition? No. He says, follow the instructions of my representative, and then you'll get my mercy.
Thank you for the question, Sri Devi. And I didn't know it was becoming that, slowly getting diluted, that simple instruction by the spiritual master. Pretty amazing. Wow. Hare Krishna. Daria, you're up next.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So you were mentioning that success in life depends on strictly following the instruction of the spiritual master, making it life and soul. But I was wondering if it's enough to follow the general guidelines, or do we have to ask for more personal instructions?
Well, that's mentioned by Rupa Goswami in Nectar Devotion, where he illustrates 5 things that one should connect with the spiritual master. And one of them is, even while one is engaged under the guidance of the spiritual master, one should occasionally, and I think we mentioned this yesterday in class, inquire from the spiritual master, how can I make more advancement? How can I improve? What services can I do? In other words, one should not be self-assured and thinking, I got it and I don't need any further instructions or guidance. Because Maya will always, see, you have to understand how the material energy works. Maya deteriorates things. She takes things down, and she replaces with something material. She's always trying to wither away our connection with the spiritual energy, giving us alternatives in the form of material sense gratification. So the energy of the material world is very strong. We're in a foreign element, being in the material world. It's not that we're in a favorable element. We have to create that favorable element by creating the spiritual atmosphere that is conducive to our execution of devotional service. So it's just like Prabhupada said, the material world is a hospital. And in the hospital, the patients who are there, they're diseased. So that means the materialistic people. So a devotee is like a doctor within the hospital. But if the doctor doesn't take precautions, he can also get sick. And it happens also. So therefore, being in the material world means to be surrounded by the opportunities for sense gratification and be encouraged to do so at every moment by the external energy. That's why, it's like swimming against the current. But if you stop swimming, what happens? The current takes you back down. So one has to constantly be connected with those spiritual masters' instructions to stay free from the effects of deviating in our spiritual life, which is very easy to do in this age. Very easy.
Hope that helped, Daria.
Just maybe one quick clarification. Should we then first try by ourselves and then ask the spiritual master, or is it
What are you
okay?
going to do by yourself? You're going to try and figure out the
For
beginning
example,
of our spiritual life is the instructions of the spiritual master. What could we do before then? Uh, we have faith that the processes does work. We have faith that the spiritual master can bring us to Krishna. But then again, we have to act on that faith. And that means his instructions, his guidance. Prabhupada put it in his books, and he gave it to us on a personal level also.
Did that help, Daria?
yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, you got a direct answer. Perfect. Thank you. Proceed, Prabhu. You're up next. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances in your lotus feet, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, as you told, there are three modes of modes of goodness, modes of ignorance, and modes of passion. And you told by the mercy of spiritual master, disciple can reach from goodness to susattva. So what is the difference between the goodness stage and susattva condition,
Well,
Guru Maharaj?
as Prabhupada puts it, you can't practice devotional service being influenced by the lower modes of passion and ignorance. It's not possible. As long as you're still working within those two modes of passion and ignorance, you can't come to devotional service. You have to come to the mode of goodness in order to practice devotional. Although the mode of goodness is still within the material energy, it is the qualities of the mode of goodness are conducive to the execution of devotional service, while the qualities of the lower modes, passion and ignorance, are not conducive to devotional service. Therefore, in order to come to that, we have to follow those four regulative principles, which keep us connected, which help us to elevate ourselves to the mode of goodness, and all at the same time, the instructions of the spiritual master. So, therefore, as long as the elements of passion and ignorance are there, one cannot fix themselves in devotional service. Even Krishna told Arjun's a fighter, he said, come to the mode of goodness. Because I use the analogy, you're not getting what you need to offer to Krishna in those lower modes. But in the mode of goodness, you can offer something. We might call it modern morality is the mode of goodness, but of course, nowadays morality has been, what we say, redefined into lower modes, and therefore it cannot stand anymore as morality. But morality is the foundation for spirituality. Without morality, the standard understanding of morality according to scripture, according to Guru, one cannot practice devotional service. It's that clear. And
Guru Maharaj, what is the difference between the uh, goodness, mode of goodness, and pure goodness?
pure goodness, I use the example. Pure goodness gives you fire. Pure goodness allows you to use the fire in the right way. Just to have fire is nice. It's not good enough. You have to be able to use it. That was the analogy. In the same way, um, to have good qualities, but don't engage them in devotional service will still keep you connected to the material energy. So engaging those qualities in the service of the Lord brings you to the Sudasattva platform or pure goodness.
Under the guidance of a spiritual master.
And that comes by, following the instructions of the spiritual master. And the protection comes by the rules and regulations given. And Rupa Goswami writes, Nectar Devotion, things to do, things to avoid. We have to follow rules and regulations and be free from the influence of the modes. And then when we get to the mode of goodness, we develop these good qualities, and then we can execute devotional service more effectively, not in the lower modes.
Very nice question, Prashida. Hope that helped.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
Prabhupada used the example. I use the example. If you want fire, fire is in wood. But if somebody gives you wood, you don't have fire. But if you somehow rub the wood a little bit, you get some smoke. But still, you can't use smoke as fire. When you come to the mode of goodness, then actually the fire starts to manifest from the wood. And then you have something to work with. But if you just don't use it in the right way or for what its purpose is made for, then you don't go beyond that. So using the qualities of the mode of goodness in the service of the Lord under the guidance of the spiritual master brings us to the spiritual platform.
Thank you, Prashida. Thank you. Krishna Kamesh Prabhu, you're up next. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, expanding on what Mother Sri Devi was saying, over the years, just by hearing your instructions on these Zoom calls, classes, week after week, over the months, over the years, I can hear from other devotees how they are hearing watered down instructions, not just on chanting, but on every aspect of devotional service about what to eat, what to wear, what to do. And every aspect, they're hearing from what they perceive as senior devotees. And even those people who are perceived as senior devotees sometimes instructing me. And sometimes I have to be forceful, saying, well, this is not what my spiritual master has taught me. So I'm going to have to go with what my spiritual master says. And then they will shut up. But we have to be very, very careful because there are so many people following these watered down aspects in every aspect of bhakti. And it's only your messages coming through to us repeatedly over the weeks, months, years, and that we have this strong concept of this is what the spiritual master's saying. And recently, in recent weeks, days even, I'm finding that I hear something, I read something, and I can see, oh, that's why the instruction is there. And it still feels so beautiful. And then I see more and more perfection in the instruction of yourself, which is also the instruction of Srila Prabhupada as we were reading, as you were reading to us just recently now. And it feels even more and more beautiful how perfect the instructions are. I keep getting more and more amazed day and after day at how beautiful they are, and how you were instructing me, chant all the day, chant all the time. And I was thinking, I will try because you've asked me to, but I don't already understand. And now I can see, because only when we're chanting or attempting to chant all the time are we connected with Krishna? Are we sheltered by Krishna? And the moment that we go away from that and forget, then we're in the playground of Maya again. And it's so, so beautiful. Every one of your instructions, and Srila Prabhupada is more, I feel, is so incredibly beautiful and perfect. And over time, we learn more and more how perfect they are. And so I'm glad that I did not listen to so many other devotees that were telling me to do this, do that, and do that. And I just tried my bestest to just listen to what you said.
One who is sincere will always be led to the right knowledge, the right activity. One who's insincere will be led in a different way, because they're insincere, they want to still be considered to be devotees, but they want to do it according to what they think is their understanding. That's insincerity. How many people come to Krishna conscious? Only those who actually are serious to make a solution to the problems of life.
Thank you, Krishna Kaviraj, for the wonderful reflection and realizations. Very, very nice. Thank
But we
you.
have to emphasize the importance of reading and understanding Srila Prabhupada's books. It's so important. Because Prabhupada, although he teaches philosophy and different understandings of our relationship with Krishna, who Krishna is, what the spiritual world is, I mean, there's a variety of spiritual topics there. It all falls back to the essence, which is the chant Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. John, you're up next.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Oh.
Can we pray to Maya to leave us alone?
She will, but she has conditions for answering your prayer. She'll say, yes, I'll leave you alone when you no longer want me. As long as you still want me, I won't leave you alone.
Okay.
Yeah, so Maya is divided into two. There's Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. Yoga Maya is the spiritual energy, and Mahamaya is the material energy. They're the same person. So she has two faces. One is Durga, and one is Radharani. The same person, female energy. So she's the manifestation of the external energy or the manifestation of the internal energy. Both are the energy, both are energy, Shakti. So when we want material happiness or material activities, she comes on as Mahamaya, a Durga. And if we want the spiritual, then she comes on as Radharani or Subhadra, like that. Same energy, not different, but two different aspects of the same personality. Just like if you have electricity, you can use it to cool or you can use it to heat, but electricity is one. There's not two kinds of electricity. Well, similarly, that same energy is there. So if you ask Mahamaya to leave you alone, she'll say yes, but now you have to come to worship me in my form of what we say, Yoga Maya.
Right. Right.
Otherwise, her job is to push you in that direction by kicking you. But until you get tired of being kicked, then you think, maybe, I'm getting a sore back here. I'm getting kicked all the time. Maybe there's another way to live life. So then you stop trying to, what we say, enchant Mahamaya by approaching her in different ways just to get her favor.
Yeah, because I was wondering how, because we're learning and we're, well, speaking for myself, completely impure. So there's a necessary amount of illusion, if you like, in order to kind of help us to progress, if you see what I mean. If there wasn't difficulty or illusion, we wouldn't be able to know where our impurities lie. But then at the same time, those difficulties, sometimes they're overwhelming. So it seems like a bit of a dichotomy. Like we need Maya to leave us alone. We don't want to be an illusion, but at the same time, we kind of need some form of illusion in order to progress, if you see what I mean. So that was kind of a bit confusing for me.
Well, I think we don't need illusion to progress. We need illusion to teach us.
Right.
Illusion teaches us that it's not here.
Yeah.
So, and that comes in the form of disappointment, unfulfilled desires, and suffering.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, so Maya will do that. In fact, for devotees, she does that. When she sees a devotee deviating from devotional service, she'll come up and give you these illusions just so you remember, oh my God, this is Maya. Let me get out of here.
Right.
But the non-devotees who worship Maya see what she presents as something that is attractive to them and something they want to enjoy, or at least connect with, so they can enjoy maybe in a later situation.
Hmm.
But devotee can see Maya. Devotees can see Maya. Sometimes Maya comes on very gross, and you can just look, oh, there's Maya. Here she comes again.
Yeah.
And sometimes he comes on a very subtle way, which is a little bit harder to recognize.
Yeah.
But her job, she's a pure devotee, and she has a thankless job, is to bring us to Krishna. She's a taskmaster. Taskmaster.
Okay.
Hope that helped, John. That was a
Just
very
like
nice question, by the way. I
just
could have
like
never thought of it that way.
just like Kaikeyi in the Ramayana. She seems to be, Maya personified, but it was by her arrangement that Ram went to the forest to fulfill his desire to ultimately rid the world of evil.
Hmm.
She became the element from what we say, a negative point of view, to bring about Krishna consciousness, or, God consciousness.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
KK is not a bad person. She was acting as a way to facilitate the desire of the Lord, actually.
Yeah. Thank you,
Hope
Mark.
that helped, John.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Prachi Mataji, you're up next. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, my question is, as a devotee transcends from the mode of goodness towards Shuddha Sattva, do the material desires disappear, or do they get refined and reduced and more purified?
Desire is always there, but they're no longer material anymore. They turn into spiritual desires. Material desires is about me. Spiritual desires is about my soul, about my elevation towards Krishna. That's spiritual. Material is about the body, the mind, the senses, the intelligence. These are material. Things that give satisfaction to these things are material, and things that give satisfaction to Krishna are spiritual. So devotional service is a way to approach the Lord. As Krishna says, only by devotional service can you know me. Only by devotional service can you free yourself from this cycle of birth and death. So desire is always there. You're just purifying the desire. That's all. It's no longer selfish. It's about the self now. Instead of being selfish, it's about yourself. You, the soul.
Another very
Thank
nice
you, Maharaj.
question.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Prachi.
Yeah.
Sridevi, you're up next. Oh, Sridevi, are you there? Okay. Amritanam, I'll go to you. Oh, wait, Sridevi's back. Okay. Go ahead, Sridevi.
Sorry, I had to answer the door.
No problem.
I was thinking, Guru Maharaj, how this particular uh, translation as well as the purport is making it so clear that even above study of Vedanta is chanting the holy name. It is not that we don't study Vedanta, but we don't make that the topmost. We understand that going deeper and deeper into the holy name is the path of perfection and not becoming Vedantists as such. Is my understanding correct?
Knowledge is a way. It's not the end. Knowledge is not an end in itself. When you begin Krishna consciousness, you cultivate knowledge and vairagya side by side. When you get situated in Krishna consciousness, you work according to knowledge. When you transcend, when you get to the higher levels of Krishna consciousness, there's no knowledge becomes a concomitant factor. It's no longer a focus anymore. The devotees, just the residents of Vrindavan, all they know is Krishna is wonderful and they love him. They're not trying to philosophically figure out what to do. The maturity of knowledge culminates in pure bhakti.
Hope that helps, Sridevi.
Yes, it does explain that the path of bhakti is pure and it is knowledge which brings us further and further into bhakti. But I'm still thinking of the example of that illiterate Brahmana who didn't even know how to read the Bhagavad Gita. But
That he
because
was
he was following the orders of his Guru Maharaj, the Lord blessed him from within the heart to understand the full purport of Gita, and he was crying, thinking of how merciful the Lord is. And Lord Chaitanya embraced him, saying, "You have understood. You have understood the Bhagavad Gita."
Yeah,
So we may not be very learned scholars, but if we simply follow the instructions of Guru and Krishna, we try to perfect our chanting, that is enough to bring us to the perfection of life. We may not be great scholars, isn't it?
your knowledge at the time of death won't save you. Your devotion will.
That was very nice, Marge, how you just said it's the devotion, it's not the knowledge that will save us. Wow. It's pretty powerful. Thank you, Marge, for putting a beautiful sentence, just encapsulates it. Thank you. Amrita Nam, you're up next.
Thank you, Anasuya Mukherjee. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, I was just wondering, since we are in this material world, we are affected by the modes of material modes again. And we, as a sadhaka, we do encounter the anarthas within us. So, is it possible to use our anarthas in Krishna consciousness, giving it a higher purpose? Because we do face it.
Yeah, some of them, but you have to transform it and not follow it according to the anartha. In other words, you can use lust in devotional service. You can use anger in devotional service. You can use greed in devotional service. But not, you can't use envy in devotional service, that's for sure. So yeah, some of the anarthas, or bad qualities, you might say, when they're connected to the spiritual realm, they've transformed into opportunities for devotional service. They become transformed. Love of God manifests itself as lust in this material world. But when that lust again comes back to Krishna, it again starts to develop its pure quality again as love of God. people want greed for material things. They just be greedy for devotional service. When someone insults a devotee, you should get angry at that person. That's anger. That's called Krodha Bhakta, anger used in devotional service. So yeah, there's things you can use in devotional service that are also, material inebrities, but now transformed. Krishna, he gets angry too. And his anger is much better than all of our anger put together. But his anger is for the good of others. When he uses anger, it's for good. When we use anger, it's usually because of frustrated desires. That's the difference. But we can also use anger in the right way. And I told you that, remember? I said you can use anger in 3 ways. Remember those 3?
Yeah, as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said.
Yeah. One of them really applies to you,
Yes, I'm trying to use that.
Prabhupada would get angry at devotees if they try to waste his time.
Thank you for the wonderful question, Amritana. Very nice.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hari, hari, hari.
We have a couple of more minutes. If there are any last minute question, please, Prashida, go ahead and we can conclude with you.
Guru Maharaj, how can we come out from this envious nature? Because if we are engaging in the devotional service, still, if one of our colleague is getting it would be appreciated by our one of other guy, then we will be so much envious.
I didn't catch the whole question. Did you get it?
Yes, Marge, he's asking us how can we come out of the of the envious nature, how to get out of it.
Yeah, but envy it can be uh, developed by becoming satisfied by whatever situation you find yourself in. And be grateful for whatever Krishna is giving you. That's one way. Another way is envy. If you're envied towards another person, then you can serve that person, and that will help to mitigate your envy. But the ultimate principle of understanding is that Krishna has given everything to someone accordingly. Everyone is getting the mercy of Krishna in one form or another, both material and spiritual. So if we are unhappy with another person's success or another person's abilities, then we're really having our issue is with Krishna, not with that person, because Krishna has allowed that person to have those things. Be satisfied, that's all. Why be envious? Just be satisfied. Krishna's given me so much. I'm happy. If he gives me more, I'm grateful. If he takes something away, that means I didn't need it. Of course, you should strive to increase the quality of your devotional service, but the results is not up to you. Be satisfied. Be satisfied with the fact that you have a chance to go back home, back to Godhead. Be grateful for the association of devotees. To be grateful for the process of pure devotional service. We have so many things to be grateful. Why should we be unhappy because something else is not there with us? It's stupid to be envious.
We lack the attitude of gratitude, right, Maharaj?
Yeah, we have a lot to be grateful for.
Completely. I remember March Malati Prabhu was saying, as soon as COVID hit in March of 2021, the first thing that Mother Malati said, that I'm grateful that we got COVID. And it took me a while for her for me to understand why she said that.
For
But
devotee, our movement really increased during that time. Books,
yes, Marge, the attitude of gratitude.
all of the traveling sannyasis, they got their health back.
Hare Krishna. Really, Marge? That part I did not know. Wow. Haribol.
I'm telling you, that's from personal experience.
You could just slow down, right? And stay station. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't slow down when there's no reason to slow down.
Yes. Yeah, that's true, Marge. Thank you for that nice question, Prashida. Very nice question. Shivakumar, as you raised your hand, I said, I'm so glad you asked that you raised your hand because every class you have a question and it's a powerful question. So we'll end with your question, Shivakumar.
Thank you, Mataji, for giving the opportunity. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Maharaj, one question I had, kind of follow-up question from some of the answers you gave Maharaj today. When we hear the term emotional needs, is that connected to the satisfaction of mind and senses is my first question, Maharaj. And just second question, Maharaj, follow up to that. Irrespective of the level of advancement of a devotee, is it possible that the emotional needs can be met within the circle of spiritual life without having dependency on the non-devotional non-devotees or non-devotional?
The whole process of bhakti is emotion. It's love. Love is the highest form of emotion. I mean, your emotions directed to the material energy cause commotion rather than you fall into the ocean and a material existence. But you get out of the material ocean and you float in the spiritual uh, uh, emotion, which leads to happiness and what we say, um, no more commotion. So the devotional service is the highest form of emotion. It's the perfection of emotion because it's all about awakening our love for Krishna, which is the epitome of emotion.
Mm.
And also developing love for devotees too, developing loving relationships with devotees. If we fail to do that, we will find it difficult to also develop our love for Krishna. We have to develop friendship and actually love for the devotees also.
Okay.
And we can do that. We can cultivate these loving emotions amongst devotees. That's why the scriptures explain 6 loving exchanges between devotees. You don't have to wait till you get to the perfection of Krishna love. You can have that love experience by associating with and serving devotees and sharing Krishna consciousness together.
Marge, I had to make note of your phrase again. I actually wrote it down, Marge. It's just so powerful. Emotions with the material energy causes commotion. Loved it. It's like bang on.
Keeps you in the material ocean.
I'm going to add that too, Marge. Keeps in the material ocean. Oh my gosh. It's like
And then
powerful.
it causes what is called a very horrible explosion.
Oh, Marge, I love this. Oh my
Thank you.
God. It's just too good. It's too good. It's like a title of a movie, you know?
So if you want to keep exploding, stay in the ocean.
In the material ocean, right, Maharaj?
It's unlimited.
Hare Krishna.
Or it appears to be unlimited, but it isn't. Yeah, it
Oh,
keeps you
Lord.
bereft of spiritual promotion. Thank you for And then you jump onto the train and you got real locomotion. And that's the potion, that is the notion to really get out of this ocean.
Maharaj, I'm going to play back this part of the video, Maharaj, later on, and I'm going to write it down verbatim and really, really meditate on that. It's so powerful.
Make an Instagram shorts out of it. It'll go
Cool.
viral.
I don't, the thing is, well, the blessing is I don't have Instagram. Thank you, Krishna. Two is I'm not IT savvy. I'll have my kids do, my girls do that or someone else, but it is too good. It's too good.
Yeah,
Don't worry, our social media team will do it.
Perfect. I am social media zero. So bad in it.
one of the qualities of a Vaishnava is poetic.
Maharaj, you are absolutely that, Maharaj. Thank you so much. It's like it just
Well,
flows.
I'm not a poet, I'm a rhymer. So if you want to go to a real poet, go to Krishna Kaviraj. He's a poet.
Krishna Kash, probably you can do that, Prabhu.
He's
You can take this few amazing words of the rhymes and turn it into whatever Sri Devi said. Something with Instagram, she said.
yeah.
Thank you.
Don't use
Thank you
rhyme.
for that. See,
Yeah.
Shivakumar, your question led to this beautiful conclusion.
Thank
Maharaj,
you.
thank you.
So
Thank you.
the sum and total is love and devotion instead of lust and commotion.
Okay, Krishna Courage, are you making it of all these notes, Prabhu? You have to go back and make all these notes.
He's a poet. He's good.
I'm sorry, I had to drop out for 5 minutes because my boiler repairman came and told me that I've got problems with my boiler, so I had to drop out for 5 minutes.
No
So
worries.
5 minutes.
We'll get the words and we'll send it to you and you can turn magic into it.
It's all recorded. Don't worry, Krishna.
Yes,
Kaviraj.
it's all recorded. Thank you so much. This is really amazing. Such a wonderful summary, conclusion of this whole topic. So, so nice. If we just play it on our minds, it will definitely lead us to the destination. Marge, I just used one of your words, Marge. Please forgive me, Marge.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for making this such a wonderful class, and thank you for this really amazing questions. We got so, so good questions today, really kept things going. And we thank Marge for your time, Marge, and giving us so much of your time and creating an explosion in our spiritual lives to lead us to the right destination of Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much, Marge. And we thank all of you for joining us. Vanchakapribhyascha, Kripasindubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Candramauli Swami ki jai.
You want to chant for a while?
Oh, yes, Marge. I was told the time, so I was trying to adhere to the rules.
Well, we can, I'll just do 2 rounds and then
Sure.
I'll disappear after 2 rounds. And
Okay. I'll disappear too much after 2 rounds. After you disappear, then I'll disappear.
And then after
The only rule is we break the rules, Anasuya.
Say again?
The only rule is we break all the rules.
It's very common in ISKCON.
Okay. This is the only rule. Remember Krishna. Okay, Jai Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhara, Srivasari, Gaur, Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram He Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ram Ram He Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Ram Ram He Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram He Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram He Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram He Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram He Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ram He Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari Ram He Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram He Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram He Krishna Hari Ram He Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram He Krishna Hari Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram He Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram He Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram He Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram He Krishna Krishna Hare Ram He Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram He Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram He Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram He Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram He Krishna Krishna Ram Hare Ram He Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna devotees, Maharaj has left. So, if with your permission, I will conclude today's class. We thank you all for joining us. Vanchakaptibhyascha, Kripasindhabevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila
Thank you very much
Prabhupada.
for today. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hari
you.
Hari Bo.
Hare
Have a
Krishna.
wonderful
Krishna.
rest of the day. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.